Well, hello there. In today's vlog, we're going to talk about our cruise in June 2022 on board MSC Virtuosa from Southampton, and we cruised to La Rochelle, Bilbao, Coruna, and Le Havre.
So we booked this cruise directly with MSC on their website. In total, it cost £2,018, which worked out as £1,009 per person, or £144 per person per night. As with some other cruise lines, gratuities were included as well. When you book directly or with a travel agent, you are presented with 3 different tiers of experiences that you can have with MSC. For this cruise, we chose the Fantastica experience, which included 1 free cruise change, the ability to choose your cabin before you board, breakfast in cabin with free delivery, 20% off specialty restaurants, and the ability to choose your dinner sit-in.
We did also pre-book our drinks package on board this cruise, and that cost £200 per person extra, and it was the premium extra package, which included frozen cocktails, premium brand spirits, liqueurs, cordials, glasses of wine and champagne, draft, craft, beers and cider, soda, fruit juice, bottled water, energy drinks, premium coffees and tea, and hot chocolate.
And breathe.
I know, there's quite a lot included in that.
Also, before the cruise, we chose to pre-book our carousel show. There were 2 choices. We chose to go and see Archimia because that seemed like the one that would be more entertaining for us. This cost £9 each and included a cocktail at the show as well.
I believe if you don't pre-book it, it was something like £15 on board, so we definitely saved money there. And we also purchased Wi-Fi for 1 device, which was my device, and that cost us £50 and 33 pence for the 7-night cruise, which I don't think is that bad at all for Wi-Fi when you compare it to some other cruise lines.
Did it work well though?
It did work well, depending on where you were in the ship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So as with most of our cruises, we stay in a hotel before we board. This time we stayed at the Ibis Hotel in central Southampton. A few days before, we had a phone call saying that they had actually sold out all the rooms in the hotel, and they were upgrading us to the Novotel, which is on the same kind of square of hotels. There's 3 hotels, all owned by the same brand, and 2 Ibises and the Novotel. We had pre-booked car parking as well, and in total it originally cost £112, and this was for the Ibis, bear in mind, not the Novotel. So the Novotel might be more expensive with parking, and that actually covered 2 weeks worth of parking, so it was actually quite a bargain.
Compared to the fact when we looked at booking the parking separately through CPS, I believe they wanted £200 per week because it was in June and it was a very busy cruise period.
Yeah.
So definitely a bargain there.
Yeah. The hotel, really, really nice room. Very unusual bathroom with those open dual doors that open out into the bedroom, and the toilet round the corner by the door. The only problem was it was very hot and there was no aircon in that hotel. There was a little fan that we'd been given, and the room just never cooled down. The windows did open wide, but that didn't really help. So yeah, if it's not winter, I wouldn't go there again, but if it was winter, it'd probably be quite a nice cool room. If you want to look around it though, we have got a room tour on that, and I'll put the link up there for that video.
One other benefit about staying at that hotel is it is very close to the shopping kind of area, so you had a Boots, a Wilkinson's, quite a lot of stuff very close by. McDonald's, TGI Fridays, so you can go out and get your bits and pieces. And because we were originally doing a back-to-back cruise, which wasn't to be, it was great for us because the idea was we go back to the car and we top up some bits and pieces for our suitcase to take on board with us.
Also close to the hotel was our terminal to get onto to the ship. So it was a very short walk.
As I say, in fact, it was that close. We walked to the terminal.
Yeah, it was nice, actually. It wasn't too bad. We were a little bit worried about the busy road.
It's a very busy road just outside, the main road that kind of goes past the docking gates. But once we crossed that road, it was fine, wasn't it, into the cruise terminal. And cut through a little car park and you're there ready to board. Yeah. Well, ready to start the boarding process.
So we were given a boarding time of 10 a.m.
Mad.
Earliest ever that we have ever experienced. But I must say, when we got to the terminal, it felt like everyone had been given the 10 a.m. boarding time because it was heaving.
Yeah.
So, nonetheless, though, we got through that boarding process really, really quickly. Like, there were a lot of people, but it was always moving. Surprisingly, as they give you your key card at the terminal, I thought it was going to be so long. Like, I thought we were going to have to wait ages, but yeah, surprisingly, it was actually really quick.
We got through quickly. I think the boarding pass bit handing you before you get onto the ship did slow it down slightly, but it was still really quick.
Yeah,
and it was still really efficient. And it was also nice to have your cruise card ready so you don't have to go to your cabin first.
So upon boarding the ship, we had our little incident, which we're not going to go into now, but it's in the Embarkation vlog. So we're not going to take that into account for this review at all. So we're just going to park that and forget about that.
Mm-hmm. What I didn't enjoy about the boarding experience is as soon as you get on board, you are greeted with loads of people pushing sails as soon as you get on board. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not into like those hard sail techniques. I'd rather see something, think about it, take away with me. But as soon as you got on board, it's, do you want to buy this drinks package? Buy this photo package from us? Have you got your excursion ready? And it was a bit much, and especially as you're getting on board this amazing looking ship with this really cool modern kind of art display on the roof in the atrium kind of area, or I think it's the Boulevard, I think.
Galleria Virtuosa.
Galleria Virtuosa. And it's taken away because people are shoving cards in your face trying to make you upsell.
It's not what you want.
No.
When you're embarking at all. It's like we're quite stressed. We just want to get to the room, or we want to just go down and sit and chill. We're not making decisions about food later in the week there, or an excursion in Bilbao or whatever. Yeah. So, yeah, it was silly, really, and I felt not many people would have booked stuff at that point.
Yeah, I agree.
Onto the cabin, though. We booked cabin 10075 before we boarded. It was on the port left side of the ship. It was on deck 10, which is Gershwin in Virtuosa speak. Each deck is named after a composer. So yeah, there's like Strauss, there's Marconi, and so on. So that was quite cool. The room was near the front lifts on the port left side, as I said, which was good. It gave us access to quite a lot of things, and it was generally a quieter set of lifts, I found. We booked a grade BR1 deluxe balcony cabin, which is listed as being around 19 metres squared. What do you think of that cabin, Georgie?
I really liked that cabin. It was very similar to the cabin on board Iona in the whole layout of the whole room. We had the bed next to the balcony and a sofa, but I think the room was really functional. There was, if I remember correctly, underneath the desk, which was a very large desk for that room, you had a table that pulled out and then a chair underneath that pulled out, and you could use a lot of the features in there. There was a mini bar in the room that was stocked with products that you can purchase, but we asked our room attendant if they could empty the mini bar. And in fact, we did that one day, didn't we? We just put them all on the side, I think, just because we had our own stuff we wanted to put in the fridge. Yeah. So never worry if it's full of products. Just ask them to take them out and, use the fridge as you need. How about you? What did you like about the cabin?
Well, no curtain in the shower, which is always a win. That was a glass door. The bathroom was really functional. Lots of space, shelves to put your stuff, which I liked. My one negative would be about the aircon. And on my side of the bed, I was facing towards the bathroom, and the aircon blows down onto the bed, and it was blowing directly into my face. So I had to kind of set up a little windshield to deflect the aircon away, because I just had a freezing cold face. And we need the aircon in the night. We like a cold room.
Yes, we do.
I don't like it blowing at my face. But apart from that, I think it was a really good room. The TV was good, although you had to pay for movies, didn't you?
Yes, you did have to pay for movies. I think they were £8 each. Yeah. One thing I really liked about the bathroom that I forgot to say was that there was no soap to wash your hands. It was all in like a dispenser with a little pump by the side, and I really liked that. I don't know why I liked that so much.
Oh, the little things.
But yeah, I think it's because it meant you don't have to have a bar of soap sitting on the side. You just easy access to soap to wash your hands. Yeah.
So next, the safety drill. This is, we wouldn't normally talk about this in one of our reviews, but I felt like we needed to touch on it.
With P&O, we've become used to that experience. We've cruised them a few times now from Southampton, and it's a really efficient way of doing it. You get on board, you go to your muster station, you watch a safety drill in your room.
Yeah.
On Virtuosa, there was no information as to what happens, so we were just kind of there thinking, well, I don't know what happens. You get to your cabin, which is about 2 p.m, the cabins are available, still thinking, don't know what we have to do. And at 5 p.m, there's an announcement saying to watch the safety video in your room, so we did, and then go to your muster station. Yeah, they weren't timed out efficiently, everyone was told to go there at the same time, which created this weird, I want to say not panic, but everywhere was busy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The stairs were rammed, it was just an unorganised mess.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't the most kind of efficient one. I know it's different because it's post-COVID as well, but I feel like they could have either staggered it or done it a little bit more like P&O do, especially as what we didn't know at the time is then there was another one at 8 p.m, so if you didn't get your key card scanned at 5 p.m, you could go again at 8 p.m, and the following morning there's another announcement saying, if you haven't been yet, come now. So no one had to go that first time round, we could have gone to a later one.
So MSC Virtuosa is a Meraviglia Plus class MSC cruise ship. Did I say that right?
I have no idea.
Meraviglia.
It sounds about right.
I'm presuming I'm saying it right. Launched in May 2021 after being delayed from autumn 2020. She is 331 metres long and 16 decks tall, with 2,421 cabins and carrying 4,842 passengers. It's quite similar to Iona.
It is. And it always amazes me because that's more than the population of the town that I'm from, in Wales. So the facilities on board, again, it's a very modern ship, and you had the Gallery of Virtuosa. As I said earlier, as you walk on board, that's the first sight you're greeted with, and I believe, because we were born in Southampton, we were greeted with like 50-foot Union Jacks on the ceiling. But throughout the cruise, they changed it, and there was little shows on there, and it was actually really nice to stand there. It reminded me a little bit of Las Vegas with the fake ceiling.
3 months straight.
Yeah, but it was quite nice to see, wasn't it? It was just something different. There were shops.
Were there shops?
There were loads of shops. And what did you think of the shops?
So yeah, if you love luxury goods, very good selection of shops there. And there were little boutiques as well, selling clothes, jewellery, and also a duty-free shop, which was fairly expensive, as you would expect, really. But they did some deals on like chocolate on certain days, and Pringles and drinks and stuff as well. But yeah, they sell all your normal duty-free goods that you'd expect. On Virtuosa, there's many, many bars, including the Infinity Bar, the MSC Starship Club, which is somewhere where we went.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Rob the Robot?
So Rob the Robot, the drink I had was really nice. It was a non-alcoholic cocktail. It was really nice, but it was quite expensive. You do get a souvenir cup to take away with you as well, and we obviously got to film the experience. So I probably would go there again, but I'd want to try an alcoholic cocktail.
Yeah.
But it's not included. Even if you do have a drinking package, you will have to pay additionally for that.
But yeah, good fun for the kids, and they can get a non-alcoholic cocktail.
I was going to say, not forgetting cocktails then.
And have Rob make it for them as well.
Yeah.
Other bars include the L'Atelier Bar and Arts Gallery Bar. is the best way to describe it. So they have different art in there for different seasons. The Champagne Bar on the atrium, the Master of the Sea pub, the Sky Lounge with its vast views of the pool area and the sea, which was really nice. Fortunately, I didn't get to go there. You walked through it, didn't you?
Yes, I did, and it was really nice.
Oh, good. Hopefully, we're going on Virtuosa again soon. We can go there, and I can actually see it this time.
Experience it, yeah.
And then, of course, the many, many pool bars.
There's also the Jean-Philippe Chocolate and Cafe, where there's some amazing chocolate art, as well as some little bars of chocolate that you can purchase as well. All the drinks are also not included in a drinks package, as well as the Crepes and Gelato Bar, which is in the Gallery of Virtuosa.
There's 2 excursion desks as well, one on the atrium on deck 5, and also one in the centre of the Galleria.
Plenty of pools on board, including the Atmosphere Pool, the Tropical Pool, and the Horizon Pool.
Also on board is the MSC Aurea Spa, the Arcade, Sportplex, Bowling Alley, XD Cinema, the Hologate Arena, the Formula Racers, and the Running Track.
There are so many things and venues on board that I feel like it is perfect for a family holiday, because there's plenty for all ages to do on board the ship.
So there are lots of food venues on board Virtuosa. For this sailing, we chose early dining, and we actually never used it. We went down once, and there was a massive queue going from the restaurant right out to the atrium. So we just turned around and went up to the buffet. So your choices for main dining are the Blue Danube, the Minuetto, the Opera and the Symphony, and the Marketplace Buffet. All are inclusive and included in the fare of your cruise. Premium options include...
So you got the Butcher's Cut.
The
Butcher's Cut Steakhouse, the Kato Sushi Bar and Teppanyaki. That's a big word. The Indochine Restaurant, which serves Vietnamese and French cuisine, as well as Hola Tacos and Cantina. We only went to Hola Tacos and Cantina, and we really enjoyed our meal in there.
Yeah, definitely recommend the nachos. They were yummy.
And the pineapple lemonade.
Entertainment on board, there was a lot of selection. So you could go to the theatre, where there were plenty of seats, and you could watch a show. You could go to the Virtuosa Lounge on the Galleria Virtuosa, which unfortunately didn't have many seats at all. If anything, there's probably about 40 tables in there, and they fill up very quickly. The same for the Master of the Seas pub. Entertainment in there, but very limited options for seating. So there are options for entertainment, but you need to get there early if you want to see them. Apart from live entertainment, there's also the Savannah Aquapark, the Red Gem Casino. The Carousel Lounge also offers the paid-for shows, so the Ajedrez show and the Alchemia show. Apologies if I've said that wrong. There's also karaoke in the TV studio bar, trivia around the pool, and lots of other activities.
It's also worth mentioning in the casino, half of it is smoking and half of it is non-smoking. So if you're a smoker, perfect. If you're not, you've got a space there. However, because you have to walk through there to get to the Carousel Lounge, it does smell of smoke, and it's quite strong as you're walking through there, isn't it? Even if you are on the non-smoking side of the casino. So on our ports of call, once we left Southampton, we had a day at sea, so we just enjoyed the onboard kind of venues and had a little look around, and enjoyed a couple of drinks with our drinks package. On day 3, we got to La Rochelle in France, and it was a really nice kind of day, but we didn't get off the ship, did we?
No, so we parked quite far out from the town, so it didn't really look that appealing from where we were, so we thought, maybe not today.
We originally did have excursions booked for this cruise, but because we was going to Norway the week after on another cruise, we decided to cancel them to minimise the risk of us getting COVID and having to cancel that cruise, so that we could enjoy Norway. So on day 4 we got to Bilbao, but we docked in the town of Getxo, and that was a really nice port. I didn't go into Bilbao, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but I did get off and have a look around Getxo on my own, I might add, because Dan wasn't feeling very well. And I had a nice little morning stroll, even though if you are going to walk around the town, there's a lot of steps, so take some nice walking shoes with you.
Day 5, Coruna.
I
I was feeling a little bit better, and we got off and had a walk around, and Georgie went to one of his favourite shops in the entire world,
Sephora,
and bought an obscene amount of aftershave, and we got some other bits as well, so that was nice. And we sat in a park, there was a little strike going on, so we watched that. That was fun.
A little protest thing. Yeah, and we had a day at sea going over the Bay of Biscay, and that was a very bumpy travel over the Bay of Biscay, and then our final port of Le Havre in France. But we were kind of confined by that point, weren't we?
So, COVID hit us. If you've watched the vlogs, you'll know this already. But we had varying symptoms throughout the cruise, and we were testing, and we showed negative. And then, just before the day port of Le Havre, we tested positive. We got tested on the ship. We were promptly moved to another room, which was cabin 9008, which is a grand suite Aurea with terrace and whirlpool. That's on deck 9, which is Strauss. Lovely room, and unusual room to give people that are quarantined, but it was good for you because you just spent the remaining 2 days of the cruise in the whirlpool.
In a hot tub. When I said earlier about the Wi-Fi in different parts of the ships, this is where it suffered a little bit because of the Wi-Fi routers being inside the corridors of the hotel rooms, if you like, on the ship. The Wi-Fi signal couldn't reach the front of the suite. So when we was in the bedroom, which is towards the front of the suite, you couldn't get a Wi-Fi signal in there, but you could when you was nearer the door. And when you confined in your cabin, you kind of want to access the internet.
So whilst we were confined to cabin 9008, we were quite well looked after by the crew. We were given menus, we got to choose all our food, and they delivered it directly to the room. One day Georgie ordered a smoothie and got a banana.
That was funny.
Quite a funny day.
One day I didn't order a smoothie and a smoothie turned up.
They also gave us access to all the movies for free, so we just stayed in there and watched movies, and we had a fantastic balcony as well for the views, which was really nice.
We were also given a Wi-Fi streaming package, free of charge, but we didn't actually use that. We just had to pay on our onboard account and then they'd refund it, but we just didn't bother, did we?
No. And then we disembarked at 8 a.m. on the last day. We were given that time, we didn't have much choice, but that was fair enough. And we were escorted through the crew area at the bottom of the ship and out a back door. And yeah, that was our experience.
I have to say, it was probably the smoothest disembarkation I've ever had. I didn't even have to carry our luggage because someone else carried the luggage for us.
So overall, Virtuosa, really, really nice ship, really modern, sparkly, but just not enough sitting areas, not enough places to enjoy the entertainment. It was only the theatre that really did a good job with that. Everywhere else, it needs a bit more thought to how many chairs and tables are in there, especially around the atrium, because there's room there. There is space around the levels that look down onto the entertainment, so the pianist and violinist and so on. What would be your...
My thoughts are when I compare it to other cruise ships that we've been on, so such as Iona, where it's got a promenade deck, so when the weather's nice you have a lot of people sitting outside. MSC Virtuosa didn't even have that many seats outside. It doesn't have a promenade deck or a walk around kind of area of any type on board unless you are right up top, and that was severely lacking. Where they've made the Gallery of Virtuosa and this incredible display on the ceiling, they've pushed all the entertainment venues outwards, so now they're crammed into these smaller bits on the side, so it loses a lot of seats and a lot of space. And so obviously when we was confined due to COVID-19, that was fine, but while we had access to the ship, we didn't get into one venue in the evening because everywhere was just busy the whole day, weren't they? And when they was doing line dancing in one of the bars, that was coming out into the Gallery of Virtuosa because that bar was too small to accommodate the amount of people that had been. So I think it was a very strange way to have the entertainment venues on board.
Yeah. One thing I would say, it needs a kind of P&O Clubhouse live lounge, and that could be the carousel room. They perhaps wouldn't need to do premium shows every night, and they could have other shows on there that are free, included. For our cruise, that wasn't the case. It was only for the premium shows. We have rebooked Virtuosa because we want to try it again, but we're going to try it again in Yacht Club. So we're going to see the perspective from the Yacht Club side and give a review of that. And I think that's our Virtuosa review.
Pretty much. So we do hope you have enjoyed watching this vlog, and if you have, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button just down below. You can also check out georgeanddan.com or scan the QR code which is going to pop up on your screen very shortly. You can check out the menus from the restaurants that we ate at on board this cruise, as well as some of the menus we had in our room when we was confined due to COVID-19, and we'll see you later.